All right, folks, let's get started with day number 6, or part 6, as I like to call it. This is your sixth iteration for Asteroid tutorials. Today we will be going over scores and points, and we'll probably do a little bit of the UI, okay? Let me open that up here. What we should have completed already is we should have let me see. I should be able to move, right? Freely. If your ship is not moving freely like mine, then you might need to do some adjustments and go back to one of the videos where I go over and add a different code. Your asteroid should break up, okay, and break into two, like so. Ooh, look at that. All right. Sometimes it splits off real good. Sometimes it does not. Sometimes it'll get stuck like this. Okay, so no need to worry. No need to panic. Sometimes what I like to do, you can play with this one right here, and if you want to take off the auto mask, that's fine too. That's what I did, and then you can just add some more, some linear drag and angular drag, and then you can add some more thrust to it. Like this one, I can probably go 1,000 because it did look a little slow and sluggish. So I'm going to go with 1,000 here also. So there it goes. All right. So now my prefab, make sure you always do it at the prefab level, should spin pretty good now. Let me see what my large asteroid is at. So I can probably do 1,500 here. Remember, it's going to be up to this number, okay? It's not going to be always exactly this number. So keep that in mind. All right, so let's hit the play button. Let me see what it looks like now. Good turn. That looks not too bad. I don't know. Looks a little crazy to me. Oh, those look pretty good. See? Bouncing, bumping off each other. This is what I like to see. I like the small one. I don't know what's going on with this medium one. But anyway, we'll work on that later. Right now, we're going to work on points. All right? Scoring some points. So let's get started. All right, so we first need to go ahead and open up our player one scripts. So we're going to be putting points here. So we're going to go ahead and create a public integer. For now, we're going to make it public, but later on we're going to privatize it. That way nobody can go in there and start changing their score, right? So I'm going to skip a few lines. Public integer, and we're going to call this one score, okay? And we're going to go ahead and give it a value of 0 for now. So score equals 0. Close that out. So now we need to figure out where it's going to happen. We obviously know it's not going to happen here. It's actually going to happen in the asteroid script. So when the asteroid is hit by the laser, this is where we're going to want something to happen here. Okay, so let's go ahead and first start off by giving it a integer. That way we can put some points. All right, so we're going to call it points, right? And this is going to pop up in our inspector, and we're going to assign point values just like we did with medium and small. We numbered them 2, 1, 3. We're going to assign point values for when they hit the small and when they hit the medium. Okay. All right, so the next thing we need to do is establish a link from the asteroid to the player. So the best thing to do is, like I've shown you before in the last couple of videos, not in this project, but it's to send a message to the player. So first we need to establish that link to the asteroid. The asteroid needs to know that I need to send a message, but if it doesn't know what a player is, then it's not going to work. So we need to go ahead and do a game object. All right. And this game object's name is going to be player. Okay. In this case, I'm gonna call it exactly this, player one. So let's go with capital P, capital O, player 1. Okay, that's the name of it. So I need to figure out where I'm going to send this from. So we need to, let me see, we get hit by the laser. Laser is destroyed. Asteroid sizes. So we're going to go ahead and create it here before the asteroid is destroyed. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make some room here. So pay attention to where I'm at. Right above destroy. So let's go ahead and make a comment so we know. We're going to tell player to score points. Okay, this is where we're going to write it at. All right, so we're going to have to write a code here. We're going to have to talk to the player, right? And that player is going to get, oh, no, not that. Player 1. Okay, and it's going to be, hey, player 1, I'm sending you a message, right? And that message is going to be that I want you to score some points. Well, technically, we're calling a function, right? So we have to, here in a minute, we're going to go back to player 1 and we're going to make a function. And this function obviously is going to be called score points. So let's go ahead and name it here. All right, and what are we going to send? We're going to send, obviously, we're going to send the points over to the player, okay? Points. And that's the variable that we created up here already, okay? So, just to recap, I created a variable of points that are going to be assigned to the asteroid. I'm establishing a link to my player 1. My player 1 is going to get a message. So I'm sending it a message to this function that we're going to create here in a second. And I want you to give me some points. And we're going to go ahead and close that out. And the next thing we're going to do is go over to our player 1 and create this function. All right, so the next thing we need to do is go ahead and save this, and let's go ahead and go over to our player 1. All right, let's look for a good spot. So we need to do it, let me see, we got our fixed update, so we'll do it in between the fixed update and the collision, okay? So let's go ahead and give ourselves some room here. And we are going to create a void, right? And what's going to be the name of the void? Score points. Okay, so make sure you spell it correctly, just like that. Okay, void score points, and inside there we need an argument. So we need to tell it, hey, what are we going to do in here? Well, we're going to grab an integer and we're going to name it. So we're adding points, so let's name it points to add. Okay, points to add. Oh, no spaces. I'm sorry. Ooh, goodness gracious. Points to add. All right, and then we need our brackets. Okay, there we go. So that closed that out. So it's good now. All right. Give it some room there. Hit the save button before we move on. Just double check everything is good to go. Yes, yes, yes. All right, everything looks good. I saved it already. Good. All right. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and tell it what to do in here. So we obviously want our score. Okay, our score is located up here, right? And what are we doing? We are adding points. So we're going to plus equals, plus equals, and it's going to be points to add. Okay. So, save that. All right. So, one more thing we need to do. We need to establish that link to the asteroid. So, yeah, I need to come here. Let me see if I remember. Yep, right here. Okay, so we're going to establish a link. Wait a minute. Yes, player one. Okay, to this player one object. Okay, so we're going to do it one time. That way we don't have to do it many times. We're going to say player one equals. Okay, and we're going to give it a. We're going to look for this game object. So we wanted to find this game object. And the name of this game object, okay, so it's going to do a find. We're going to do a find game object with tag. So it's going to be only one. Let me see if there's one with tag. Find with tag. So this is much simpler. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Find with tag. And then I'm going to tell it, hey, look for player one tag. Okay. So keep that in mind. This is what we're going to name it. All right. So player one game object is fine with tag. So the asteroid's going to be looking for this tag in order for it to be able to grab those points and send those points to it. Okay. So hit that save button. Remember what you named your tag. Player one, capital P, capital O. Go back to your player. Let your system update. And we need to go ahead and tag player one. La di da di da di da. Player one. Tag. Add tag. New tag. Player one. No spaces, please. All right. So now we go back to player. Tag. Player one. Right there. Okay. It's that easy. That easy. Half of y'all forget that. Okay. All right. So now that we tagged it, we tagged player one, right? So what's going to happen now is asteroid large at the beginning of the game upon startup, instead of having to fill all these with player one, right? It's going to go looking for it. So we don't have to do it anymore. Okay, this is going to automatically get filled. So I'm going to hit that play button. And what I'm looking for is this right here in player one. And there it is. Okay, so now is it happening to everything? It should. So let's go ahead and shoot the asteroid when it comes back up. Boom. Okay, now let's take a look at the medium one. Medium one should have it, and there it is. It works like a champ. Let's take a look at a small one now. Okay, so there's the small ones flying around. Asteroid small, and it has a player one. All right, so it's doing what we want it to do. All right. Okay, just to recap real quick, we tagged our player one with player one tag. For those of you who don't remember, you're going to add a tag, name it, spell it out exactly how I showed you, and then you're going to come back to player one and select this player one tag. Okay. All right. If you have any questions, rewind the video and take a look again and see what you got. All right. So next thing we're going to do is add some points. Okay. Again, you have the liberty of doing this on your own. You're going to select your prefab large. Look at your script. Where's my script? There it is. So, and we're going to look for the one that says points. Mediums, larges, I'm going to give them about 10 points. because these are going to be easy lumbering, right? Asteroid medium, I'm going to go ahead and go with 25 points on my asteroid medium. And my smalls, I'm going to go with, oh, they're pretty difficult, so let's say 50 points. All right. And the thing I'm paying attention to when I hit play is my player script here. I should see this increase, okay? I should see this increase. Remember, you made your changes to the prefab, so you should be good to go if you follow the instructions correctly. If not, rewind the video. Hitting play here. Testing this out now. So I should see some points. I got 10 points because I only hit it once. I should get some more points coming up here. Oh, missed totally. Alright, so now I have 110. Let me... Oh, I accidentally hit pause. Okay. My fault. I didn't check and see if my smalls were working. So I want to hit a small. Alright, I just hit a small. My score jumped up. Alright, so it's working. Alright. So, pat yourself on the back. If you got this far with no errors, good to go. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, so the next thing we need to work on is lives, right? So we need to add an integer over here so we can keep track of it in our inspector. So let's go ahead and go into our player one. Okay, so we have score. So we're going to go ahead and do a public int. And this one is going to be lives. Okay, lives. So where's the best place to take lives? Well, most of you should know already because we were working on that death horse a few videos back where we had it print death. Okay, so instead of printing death this time, we're going to go ahead and just take this out and we're just going to do a lives minus minus, right? Everybody remembers that? Lives. And that's because we named the variable lives, and it's going to be minus minus, okay? So every time we get hit with that relative force that we established for it to be 2, we can change that if we need to. And I'm going to put here lives equals 3, okay? And we'll close that out. So we're going to start off with 3 lives, and then we're going to finish it up. So let's check it out. And then I'm going to hit file save because I haven't hit saved in a while. All right, so file save. So as you notice here, we now have lives. We need to hit the asteroid hard enough to register a death force of 2. In order for our lives, when I hit play, you'll see 3 lives here, to start counting down. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit play. Pay attention to the right hand side. You're going to see 3 lives. So if, oh, oops, I meant to hit this button. So let's, oh Jesus, gently tap. Nothing happens, right? But if I strike it with enough force, oh, something did happen. There's one. And there's my other one. Boom. All right, so I now have 0 lives. Okay, so this works. Let's work on... Oh, lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. Okay, so just like before when we hit that falling objects, after we run out of lives, we want it to go ahead and stop, right? So we want the big game over panel to come out. So let's go ahead and go back to our script. All the way down here, let me see. So after we know we have 0 lives, we need to go ahead and put that condition in here. So if lives is equal to, or I'm sorry, less than or equal to 0, then what are we going to do? Well, I haven't set it up yet, but it's going to be game over. Okay, so let's go ahead and prep it. Game over will go here. That's probably going to be another video. We're technically not going to hit this because this is a whole other video for me. Okay, hit that save button. So what we can do is go ahead and start on the panel. All right, we're going to go ahead and start on the panel. So that's going to be in the Unity itself. Okay. Oh, what happened? Here, we're going to do it here. Okay. And of course it's catching up. All right, so if you remember correctly, we create our UI canvas. Oh God. UI canvas here. Okay, so again, remember it's going to come out very, very large and off to the side. Do not be fooled by this. Don't start adjusting it. Don't start doing anything like that. You don't need to. It's going to be the size of your screen, so you don't need to worry about that. So this is my UI canvas. All right, keep that in mind. Don't mess with it. All right, so we need to go ahead and create text boxes, right? And Text Mesh Pro is right there. If you get this message, go ahead and import it. No big deal. Yeah, okay. Not sure why that happened. All right, so there's your text. And of course, if you guys remember, we're going to have to rename it. And this is going to be renamed Lives. All right, and we're going to anchor it to the left-hand side. So let's bring this up. And let's expand it just a little bit right there. And we're going to go ahead and anchor it to the left corner. Left corner, folks. Right there. Okay? So anytime this UI changes, it's going to be always attached to that left corner. Next thing we need to work on is what are we going to name it? Right? And we're going to go center of the screen there. Okay. I'm going to name it very simple. Lives in capital letters. Take a look at that. And compare it. Yes, that looks good. Okay. Might push it left a little bit more. Might come back here to this and push it left. There we go. Look at it again. There it is. Not bad. So come back here. Maybe put a semicolon, right? Now remember, you can change the color of it again, like before. You can change it to bold if you want to. We can go bold. We can go italics, underlined. Okay, so take the liberty. That's yours. This is your game. Take the liberty if you want to change it. Okay, I'm going to change my color. I'm not going to do. Yeah, let me do an outline. Okay. All right. So, I'm going to go with that red color again like before, because we are going to be in deep space, and I am going to add some cool backgrounds to this, okay? All right, so we can duplicate this, right? right click, duplicate, right? And then change that to, rename this to score. Okay. And now I'm going to look for this and move it over to the right corner. All right. I'm going to add some numbers just to make sure. Oh, darn it. Oh, no, score. Right. Score. Okay, so that's big enough, right? Font size, again, you can mess with the font size if you want. I'm going to go ahead and change the color, though. So let's go with a different color. Instead of red, I want to go with something that pops a little bit on the baby blue side. I like that. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so let's go back to score and let's anchor that one to the top right corner. So that's there. And I'm the reason I put the zeros, I want to make sure it doesn't overlap and start going all the way outside. Okay, so that's why I did this. Probably gonna double space that. Okay. And that should look pretty good right there for right now. Okay. Let me see if I. Yep, I think I got everything covered here. All right, so now we need to establish a link for lives and for score. So we need to go back to our script and it's going to be handled by player one. Okay, so we need to go ahead and open up player one. First thing we need to do is come up here and we need to tell it that we're going to be using, okay, TM Pro. There it is right there, TM Pro. All right, and now it knows that we're going to be using that TM Pro, which is a Text Mesh Pro that we had to grab, right? And now we need to tell it that what are we going to be using to establish that link. So it's going to be obviously, I keep saying obviously, you guys are not obviously. All right, so we need to create a public let me see, TM Pro. No, let me refer to my older material real quick. TMP text. TMP text is what we're using. So TMP text. TMP text. And let me see. We're going to be saying text lives and text score. Text lives and text score. Text lives public TMP underscore oops, went to the wrong area. Text score. Okay. And let me save that real quick before I get all messed up with this. All right, so now we have to establish the link here in the void start, and we're also going to have to go down to where we score points and where we take lives. I'm taking a play from the old playbook of falling objects, okay? We're not transferring it over to strings yet, so we're going to have to get rid of the string part back here. Okay, so we're going to delete that. Then I'm going to delete that. Okay, so I got my lives and I got my score. Feel free to pause the video and write that down. Okay, so that link is established. Now I need to make sure it goes in the proper place. The first one I'm going to go with is, let's go with score. So I'm just going to copy score first. I'm going to go down here where we score points. I'm going to go ahead and paste it right below that. Okay. Then I'm going to look for where I'm going to put lives. Okay. Lives is going to happen here. So I'm going to go ahead and put it there. Actually, it's going to go right above minus live. So let me give myself some room. Come on up here. Let's grab this lives one. So as we're getting subtracting lives, Control C this. And then Control V here. Voila. So now I should see this. One last thing I need to do. Let me check my time. Let me see how much time I got left. Ew, 31 minutes. I don't like that. Okay. No problem. No problem. We're almost done. Hit save. I hit save already. Dropping this down. Let's go to this here. One last thing I need to do is go to the player mode. Now I need to throw my text lives here. Lives goes here. And my score goes dragged here. So now there's the other link. Okay? So now I should see stuff here pop up when I start playing. Okay? Oh, I got to get rid of that 0. It will. It will. Let me see. Let's find out. All right, so it's at 0 right now. 10. Okay, now I'm going to try and get hit. My live dropped. Got hit again. And got hit again. 0. So it's working. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take care of the game over later on in another video. But for right now, we at least got our UI live set up along with the score. Okay, take the liberty to add how many points you want. You can change Death Force to 1. You can make it more sensitive if you like. Okay, excuse me. At this time, we're going to go ahead and call it quits. And hope you enjoyed. We added lives, we added points, and we added UI. Okay. Next thing we're going to work on is sound and stuff exploding and going kabooey. All right. Have a good one. You guys take care. And see.